go up at the top of the chord wall if we ever do it again. If you are a student or this is your first guitar, I would absolutely recommend buying one of these as your first guitar. It's bulletproof, it will never break, it will never go out of tune. I've just broken something. We'll move on quickly before something else goes wrong. Hello, thank you for joining us. We're back from the rabbit hole of Epiphone 1959 fiddling, and as promised, we're going to start the first of a short series of reviews again of affordable guitars. To start with, well, it doesn't get much more affordable than this, the Squier Bullet Mustang, which is this particular one, £159 landed. So this is actually the expensive version of the Fender Bullet Mustang. This is the FSR version, which is the Fender Special Run, if I can get that out. Differences between this and the standard one. Colours, this is Daphne Blue with the orange competition stripe, which is fabulous. They also do this in a black with a very fetching gold stripe. And the other difference, the only other difference as far as I can tell, is that the body on this one is made out of poplar, which is fairly similar to alder, which is a very popular tone wood for Telecasters and the like. The standard version of the Bullet Mustang is made of basswood, which is a little bit softer, a little bit cheaper presumably, and comes in two different colours: Imperial Blue, which is much darker than this, kind of a navy blue, and also black. Apart from that, they're pretty much the same, but I grabbed this one because, well, I think you'll agree it's one of the coolest looking guitars ever in the world of guitars. The standard version of this comes in at £119. Can you believe £119? So this is called a Mustang, and it does bear more than a passing resemblance to the Fender Mustang. We reviewed the Squier Classic Vibe Mustang not so long ago on the channel, so check that review out if you get a chance. The differences are that this is a hardtail, so as you can see, there's no tremolo to lose. It's got a hardtail, so in that respect, it's more like the Duosonic, which in the 50s and 60s was in fact the hardtail version of the Mustang. All of this is all the same. Obviously, this has got a three-way toggle switch and humbuckers, whereas the Mustang and the Duosonic had single coil pickups and slidey switches there. Again, if you check out the Classic Vibe Mustang review, you'll see exactly what I mean. So this is a kind of a cheap, no frills, no nonsense version of the Mustang. It's got the same scale length, 24-inch scale length. Scale length, of course, being the distance between there and there. 24 inches, a little bit shorter than Gibson and Fender standard scale lengths. It's a whole inch and a half shorter than the scale length on the Telecaster and the Stratocaster, and 3/4 of an inch shorter than Gibson's. The net result of that being just that it's easier to play, really. There's less, the strings are a bit looser because it's a bit shorter, so to get the pitch it's not got to tighten them up so much. I think that's science is correct. Might not be, but there you go. So it's a little bit more comfortable to play, particularly for, if you're learning and you're a student. There's not quite so far to stretch your fingers because the frets are a little bit close, tiny little bit closer together. It's not really noticeable. You wouldn't notice it. It's not as if it's got like a really squat neck or anything. You know, it feels like a proper guitar. There's nothing wrong with it at all. But it's just, you know, for forming those initial cowboy chords. You know, it might make it a little bit easier, and especially when you get into the wonderful world of bar chords. You know, that might make all the difference, to be honest with you. Everyone remember that? Do you remember the first time you tried to do that? I still can't do it now. So, yeah, it is a great guitar for students, for beginners. But I mean, obviously, it's not just limited to students. It's a sort of guitar that we should all own, to be honest with you. It's such a great thing that, you know, and it's so cheap that it's the sort of thing you can easily have knocking around at home, you know, in your living room as your couch guitar, without any fear of any harm coming to it, because it'd be absolutely bulletproof. It's called a bullet. That's strange, isn't it? But absolutely bulletproof. It's really light, and it's really robust. And you know, you could lean it against your chair. Don't worry about it. You know, if the dog or the cat knocks it over, or the, you know, whatever, or you spill your coffee on it, you know, wipe it off. It'll be fine. It'll still sound great afterwards. So talking about weight, let's weigh it now and see how much this thing weighs. So you're talking about just over 6 pounds. 2.73 kilos, so really light. So 2 humbuckers, 3-way switch, master volume, master tone, no mucking around, no switching, nothing like that. So let's measure the pickups. The bridge pickup measures 9.40 ohms, and the neck pickup 9.15 and 9.14, and in between obviously 4.83 as you'd expect. So, you know, they're on the hot side, but not mad. They're kind of on par with the Seymour Duncan JBs, I think, aren't they? Sort of, that's around about those sort of measurements you'd expect from those. So, not that means they'll be as good as the Seymour Duncan JBs, because they wouldn't be. Well, it's unlikely. It's got an Indian Laurel fingerboard, and I'll measure the neck in 1 second. This one's crafted in Indonesia. It's like Squiers, they have this really fantastic way of doing necks. I don't know if you can see that, but it's, you know, it's a fabulous satin, you know, smoothness. It's really, really smooth and tactile, fast. Let's get this thing off. Must remember continuity now if I have to go back and do anything again. So I've taken that off. So I'm gonna measure the neck. I've just recently bought another one of these because the other one I had was rubbish, and this one, the last digits seems to be missing elements of random bars. So it's kind of, you have to guess what the last number is. So we'll do our best. Let's zero it and see what happens. Right. At the nut, width at the nut, 1.684. Oh, that looks good. Looks like it's come back to life. Let's do something weird. 1.684, 1.685 width at the nut. Width at the 12th fret, 2.04 something. I think that might be a 5. 2.045. Okay, let's see if we can now flip the old strings over there. Whoops. That's right. And measure the width at the, oops, let's be careful this doesn't mark the old fingerboard, this. So the depth at the first fret is 0.822. Yes, good so far. All right, let's see if I can get onto the 12th fret without getting into further trouble. Depth at the 12th fret, 0.881. So it's fairly flat all the way down. So yeah, fairly shallow, you know, flattish neck. So that's quite, again, it's quite handy for you know, for small hands, for beginners, people that are not necessarily used to stretching too far. So there's the neck profile at the 1st fret, and there's the neck profile at the 12th fret. So you can see, yeah, it's pretty flat all the way down. What else can we see? So, yeah, this has got a belly carve, which is, you know, makes it a little bit more comfortable if you're playing it on the couch, you know, at home. So, yeah, nice, fits nice and snugly into your belly and your ribs. It's a lovely colour, this. The finish is, you know, flawless, really. I mean, you know, you can't, I don't know what you expect for £159. This is a poly finish, obviously, so it's tough. You know, it's not gonna mark too easily. It's not gonna dent too easily. It's what you'd expect for an affordable guitar. It's just got a nylon nut, but like, you know, what you can say about Squiers and Fenders in general is that the nuts are always well cut. They don't very, I mean, not in my experience, they never cause any problems with tuning issues, with pinching and stuff like that. They're properly cut and they function absolutely fine. This guitar, the tuning stability is absolutely fine. This does come with fairly thin strings, like a top E's and 9 gauge, which I'm used to playing 10s or 11s. So when you add to the fact that they're lightish strings to the short scale, it took me a little bit getting used to when I was playing it. Anyway, so shall we do that? Should we go down to the studio and have a listen and see what sort of sounds we can coax out of it? Yeah, let's do that. And I'll see you back here in a bit, and we'll have a little summary and see what we think. All right, see you in a bit. So just spinning through these pickup settings, so there's no pedals on this. That's just with the neck humbucker. So it's got a nice bit of break up on it. A little bit of a bluesy vibe there, and this is the bridge humbucker. Got a really nice sort of Telecaster spank to that, hasn't it? A bit of drive on it. So yeah, that's in between. It's a good amp, but obviously it's a nice sound. Nothing wrong with that. You could do a lot with it. So I'm going to try a little loop and just go through the various pickups and settings and muck around a little bit, just to give you an overview of the sort of thing that you might want to do with it. You might want to do something completely different, which is fine. but this is what I'm going to do. It means business, doesn't it? There you go. I mean, one of the sort of comments that you often get on a guitar like this is, in fact, I've seen it. Obviously, I've done a little bit of research on this model, and I've seen, you know, people say, "Oh, the first thing you need to do is chuck the pickups in the bin." Well, I don't know about that, to be honest with you. There's not a lot that this couldn't do, so I'm not sure that you want to immediately spend more than the guitar on a set of pickups. But I mean, I know, you know, having said that, we'll probably muck around with it and change them to find out if it does make much of a difference. Whatever these are, they definitely do the job. And that's, I mean, even without sonic help, what have I done? I've just broken something. It's my lead. Phew. Thought we had a disaster then. Oh, it could be the think this lead is a bit dodgy, so don't worry. We'll move on quickly before something else goes wrong. Okay, so that's kind of what it sounds like. I'm quite surprised. I'm constantly surprised by the noises that come out of these affordable guitars. You know, even with my playing, they don't sound bad at all. And you'd expect them not to. You know, this is £159, and you know when people are blowing thousands of pounds on guitars, you know, for the perfect tone woods and pickups and all that, and then you can get something like this for less than the cost of a decent set of pickups, and it sounds perfectly acceptable. You know, you could gig with this guitar, absolutely no problem. You could gig with it, and you'd look like, you know, the coolest kid on the block, really, to be honest, wouldn't you? I mean, you know, we did our, you know, classic vibe Mustang, and, you know, that went straight to the top of our cool. Well, I think it was the first guitar to, you know, to get the very, very cool accolade. This is no different. You know, this will go up at the top of the cool wall if we ever do it again. It's a fabulous guitar. It comes with free online lessons. And yeah, I mean, you know, I can't criticise this guitar at all. You know, I just noticed as well the fretboard, as I say, is Indian Laurel. It looks great. It looks really nice. It's kind of got a knotty thing going on there, which is weird and quite attractive. Oh yeah, frets. You know, I mean, I'm not going to do any. Look, I haven't cut myself at all. I haven't laddered my tights. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Again, I want to qualify this sort of fret work on stuff like this. You know, we're in the UK. The climate's very, very friendly here. You know, there aren't any real extremes of humidity or dryness or whatever. I mean, this is the middle of the summer, so obviously it's raining out, but it's quite warm. So it's absolutely fine. I mean, it arrived like this. I mean, whether or not, I mean, I don't know, it probably hadn't been out of the box since it was sent from Indonesia. It arrived here. I haven't adjusted the action. I didn't adjust the action before playing. I'll admit to giving the truss rod a little tweak just to. I've got a little bit of buzzy up here, which is not now. So a little tweak just to give it a little bit of relief in the neck. I didn't encounter any fretting out at all. You know, I mean, they weren't polished, but obviously I've played it. You know, you play it for a half an hour, you polish the frets yourself. So. You know, out of the box, I mean, you know, if you are a student or, you know, this is your first guitar, I would absolutely recommend buying one of these as your first guitar. Above a Telecaster and above a Stratocaster or anything else, or anything Les Paul shaped. If first guitar, you can't go wrong with this because it's simple, because it's a nice, comfortable scale length. You're going to find it a lot easier to play. The action is fantastic. The strings that come on it are good. You know, you'll find it very comfortable to play, and you'll immediately be really cool. So here you go. If you're a beginner, buy one of these because you'll find it very easy to learn on. Learn your three chords, your first three chords. It's all you need. Don't believe what anybody else tells you. You don't need modes and all that nonsense. Learn three chords and then form a band, write some songs, become famous, and then spend most of your money on buying more guitars. Buy some really nice ones with the amount of money you'll earn. But then I guarantee you'll keep this and you'll still play it more than any others. You can have it at home by your couch, in your mansion. Take it wherever you go with you. It's bulletproof, it'll never break, it'll never go out of tune. It is an absolutely brilliant first guitar, intermediate guitar and last guitar. It's the only guitar you ever need. Makes me question why I've got so many. It's not going to stop you buying loads of others, is it? Obviously, I mean, it is brilliant, isn't it? There you go. Thank you very much for watching this old nonsense, and I'll see you again next week, and we'll have something else to look at. All right, cheers for now. Bye.